Welcome to Ocrop's YouTube channel, your world for information.
Hi all, how are you? Good? Right. The topic for the day is reporting non-conformance during an ISO audit. The video is going to detail all about non-conformances, the classification, and how to sell your non-conformance, how to write the non-conformances, and what are the qualities of a strong evidential non-conformances. So all these will be part of this video, right? If Thanks for all those who have subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't already, please do so. It's a request, and also don't forget to hit the bell button so that you receive notifications of all my videos, future videos. Hope to have a good time with you. Let's get into the topic.
Who have conducted audit, or even if you have faced the audit, you know that there is a popular saying that audit is a fact-finding exercise and not a fault-finding exercise. But invariably, the conclusion of audit boils down to what we call as NC or non-conformities. So now let's understand what a non-conformity is. A non-conformity is a failure to conform to accepted standards. There is a big difference between the word conformance and compliance. These two words are often interchangeably used, but it is not the same. What does that accepted standard means? It could be a customer requirement, it could be the requirement of an ISO standard, for example, ISO 9001 2015 or 14001 2015 or ISO 45001 2018, or it could be information security management system or food safety management system or whatever. These are the standard requirements. There could be some industry requirements or regulatory requirements which you would have accepted or your client would have accepted. Those are also requirements. Customer requirements are also requirements. Requirements, other legal requirements are also requirements. Deviation from any of these requirements or specifications is called a non-conformance. And when the deviation pertains to statutory, regulatory, that is the legal and other requirements, it is a compliance issue. A non-conformity in a management system audit can be plenty. It could be serious, critical, major, and minor, depending on what industry you are auditing and against which standard or requirements the audit is being conducted. Sometimes non-conformity may be a failure to meet a requirement set by the own organization's own specifications as well. Why should a non-conformity should be reported properly? Only if it is reported properly, the system will get the corrections and corrective actions. Just so the system iteration will go on. So non-conformity is indication of the maturity of the system. It can also reveal how good the auditing or the quality of auditor. Just by seeing the non-conformity, one can tell how good the quality of audit was. And foremost thing requirement of a non-conformity is to be factual, because we know that audit is a fact-finding exercise. So any outcome of an audit, be it is conformance or it is a non-conformance, it should be a factual thing, which means it is backed up by proper objective evidence, appropriate objective evidence. So this evidence-based approach would ensure that the non-conformity is factual. The requirement of a non-conformity is to be make it understandable. It should be simple enough, worded in a proper way so that anybody can understand what the problem is. Has to be backed up with ample evidences, corroborating evidences as well. Only then the traceability will be fine. General classification of a nonconformance is either major or minor. A major nonconformance is where there is absence or a complete breakdown in the system, whereas a minor nonconformance is a one-off incident or one-off evidence that does not meet the set requirements. So, where there are many small breakdowns in one particular area or process, it is called a major nonconformance. A minor nonconformance, multiple minor nonconformances in a process, three or four, say, depending on what process it is. If it happens in the same process, it could lead to a major nonconformance in the process. Now let's look at the examples for a minor nonconformance and a major nonconformance. Suppose the auditor is interviewing a personnel to understand his competence on a given area, and that could not be demonstrated by that person, but it is the process is in place and other people could do that, but this particular sample, this particular individual person cannot demonstrate his competence or his awareness. This could be one of the minor non-conformities for the process. So I have given this example because it is going to be a generic example for all the management system standards. So this is one area, competence or awareness is one area which is common for all. So everybody will understand what it means. Any minor nonconformity is not deemed to be detrimental to the operation of the process or the business. A minor nonconformity could be a single or an isolated event which is of low risk, or it could be a momentary lapse, or it could be an individual mistake which has resulted in a process gap. Let's just say a minor lapse in the following of said processes. Non-conformity could range from any document that has not been approved by proper authority. It could be a missing calibration of a key instrument. If two readings mandated by the process are not noted, maybe backup is not taken for a particular day, there could be many cases of minor non-conformities. Let's move on to the major non-conformities. The major non-conformity is one where there is a failure or a substantial failure to meet the requirements or the statement of intent of a clause by a process or processes, and multiple failure within a process may also constitute a major non-conformity, as I said earlier. For example, you have not conducted or evidenced management review or internal audit, the whole PDCA is shattered. The check and act part of it is shattered. Let us take one example of a process, let's say production process of an industry has to note down some mandatory records, readings they have to maintain as per the documented process, but it is not done so. It has been a system failure. Then it becomes a major non-conformity. Friends, please understand sometimes lack of evidence is also noted as non-conformity. Lack of evidence is not an evidence. The difference between a minor non-conformance and a major non-conformity could be like a vital few and a trivial many. Minor could be a trivial many, or the major could be a vital few. There is an evidence of a frequency of uh, minor non-conformity being occurring repeatedly over a period of time, especially if they are identical, then under the same clause, then the minor non-conformity is deemed as major. If a set system or process fails to detect a major deviation before it occurs, that could be a major non-conformance as well. There is an instance of a minor non-conformance raised during a certification audit or an internal audit is not being treated properly, that is, by giving proper corrective action, and it has instances of repeating, it becomes a major non-conformity. Important thing in reporting a non-conformity is the problem statement. You must state what is the problem. The problem must be stated clearly, it must be concise, understandable, and it must be factual, which means it should be backed up with evidences, evidence or evidences, corroborating evidences, objective evidences. When this problem or the failure or failing is not in line with the set requirements or the accepted standards, then it becomes a non-conformity. The non-conformity clarity will be based on the problem statement only. It is for the system and not for the individual departments or the individual process owner. No individual is pinned against any kind of non-conformance. It's only the system which is being questioned by for the conformity, and that conformity, any non-conformity, is for the system and not for individual. It is not pinned against any of the individuals. Problem statement should be a statement of fact. Sometimes individual opinions also creep up as problems. The ability of an auditor lies in reporting the problem statement and matching it with the requirement with the concise evidence and writing in complete sentences. These are the qualities of a good auditor writing a correct non-conformity report. Take an example. uh, let's say company X has committed itself to perform 8 hours mandatory training for all the employees in a particular process, and if they haven't done that, you have a procedure which states that the organization is planning for 8 hours of mandatory training, and there are no records that state that the training has been carried on, and there has been no evidence of the training being conducted, and it is agreed by the people in charge of the human resource department. This becomes the evidence here. The evidence is the procedure which states that the 8 hours mandatory training would be conducted, and the failure is a statement of fact by the HR manager or one of the auditees from the HR department that the training has not been conducted, and there has been no such records or evidences or observations or documents uh, that demonstrates the conduct of 8 hours mandatory training as planned by the organization. The documented non-conformity, which becomes an objective evidence for the accreditation body or any of the regulatory bodies to audit the effectiveness of audit, becomes a evidence for the skill or competence of the auditor. So it is a auditing skills required writing effective non-conformities. This is a basic skill expected out of every auditor. Even the most experienced auditors struggle with writing effective non-conformities. Non-conformity should also add value to the system. It's not just a case of one date missing or one document being not produced to you. Not just about this, it should add value to the organization as well. For the auditors need to ensure that it is a non-conformance by all possible means with the evidences before reporting it to a client. Otherwise, generally, if they fail to have factual information in place, it can lead to challenges in the closing meeting, or even after the finding is sent to the client. If the evidences are not clear, they can always come back and challenge you. Communication skills of the auditor would be tested in his ability to word the non-conformities to ensure it is justified and it adds value to the customer's management system. from the major and minor non-conformities, sometimes some certification bodies include something called opportunities for improvement or observations or however it is where there could be different parlances. It also has to be noticed by the auditee or the audit client. They need to ensure that those gaps are also fulfilled. Sometimes, for the lack of evidence, uh, what could have been a potential non-conformity could have been figuring in that list as well. As an auditor, I only expect that wherever I go, there is a defined system, there are documented procedures, there are arrangements, and there are the evidences on agreed requirements, and the demonstration is good and on accepted level. The implementation is good overall, and there are no minor or major discrepancies. However, at the time of closing meeting or during the audit, when the conformance requirements are not matched, you will have to end up serving non-conformities. A well-reported non-conformity would allow the auditee to understand where the problem is and allow him or her to implement corrective actions and make the system better. Now, a question to the auditors or people who have faced audit, whether you have issued or received a major non-conformance in any of the audits you have been part of. If you have done that, please record it in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to review it and see how what happened there. Is there a case of any auditee when you request to sign satisfying the understanding that acceptance of non-conformity has rejected it by showing some evidences? Please share with me. I'll be more than happy to see those things. Please share those instances where you had concrete evidences and yet found it difficult to push it as a non-conformity with your clients. There could be some problem with acceptability as well, despite being the evidences being clear and concise. Please share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you for patient listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.
Good day. Bye.